Hello guys, and welcome to my video in which I tell you what I think about Titanfall. And as you see from that little slow-mo clip there, there's some pretty sweet moments to the game. I've really been enjoying it. Visually very, very impressive, and there's a lot of cool elements to it. Any game where you can rip people out of their Titans and squish them with your hand, with your giant metal hand, and then do something like this, where you get some unfortunate pilot out of the sky as he's trying to eject. It's pretty awesome. Just all around some pretty neat stuff, but the movement mechanics are really good, and so in this commentary I only have a couple clips that I just uploaded from my Xbox in 30-second increments, so the majority of the commentary is going to be just a Gears 3 gameplay, but I wanted to give you some Titanfall footage and just a couple of little mini highlights of mine. And of course this is one of my favorite things about Titanfall, just the Titan battles where it's a lot of timing and figuring out when to go in for the kill, and it's very, very satisfying to rip someone out of their Titan and toss them aside. So let's get on to the actual opinions of Titanfall and what I think about the game. And honestly, Titanfall, it's a groundbreaking game. The movement in it is really incredible, and I found it to be very, very original. The combination, the balance between the pilot gameplay and the Titan gameplay is really well done. I thought that there was gonna be either weighted one way or the other, where you'd have a really good Titan gameplay, or you'd have great pilot gameplay and then the Titan sort of bogged it down. But it doesn't do that at all. So I was pleasantly surprised in that aspect. I already mentioned the visuals are great. Balance is good. The movement is really amazing. Of course, I'm a little bit I'm not biased, but I guess I'm a blank slate when it comes to that style of shooter game. The more quick twitch, really weak compared to a game like Gears of War 3, and I'm not really used to that kind of game because I got into gaming late in my career, life as a gamer. I had really crappy internet for a long time, and then Gears of War 3 is actually the first online game I played seriously. So I've never played the Call of Duty online. I've never really played Battlefield online. So this is my first game with that sort of genre. But although I can tell, it's really different, and the movement in it. One of the things which reminds me of, and one of the reasons why I enjoy it, I think, is that it reminds me of the Gears of War 3 movement, with where you have to plan out based on your environment, your path that you're going to take, and the ability to bounce back and forth between walls. Like if you're in an alleyway and you got walls straight up from you up to top building tops, you can jump pack, bouncing off the walls all the way up, just like you would in Gears, bouncing in the hallway, but going vertically to get to the rooftop. And so, and then there's a lot of ways. Like if you're approaching a doorway, you can actually jump off a wall run over the doorway, and then drop straight down into the doorway, so you don't have that sort of obvious approach of walking up through the doorway, so where someone camping could kill you. And this camping is not nearly as easy in Titanfall. Of course, camping is possible no matter what game you play, but once you know where the camper is, there's usually so many ways to approach an objective or an area that, as long as you're willing to be creative and think about it, you can find a way in. So let's see. Let's just get the pluses of Titanfall measured out in a cohesive and, I guess, easy to understand format. Great gameplay, very balanced between the Titans and the pilots. Really creative and original new movement. I would say that the weapons feel balanced. So all in all, a solid game. Very original and interesting. But then on the con side, I do have a couple things which I found to be a little underwhelming. One of them was wasn't really enthused about the implementation of the bots in the game. The grunts are honestly terrible. Like, they're so bad that being killed by one, as per my little humiliation Titanfall video, is really embarrassing. And I don't know. I don't like bots in most game modes and in most games, especially if victory hinges on bots. Luckily, Titanfall does have the virtue of having the victory condition in most games not be affected by the bots. Hardpoint, you're almost always fighting other pilots I feel like that game mode is almost entirely decided based off of how the pilots are playing. The bots don't affect that at all. The only thing they do is just provide fodder for the Titans to build faster. And then the game mode where the bots are glaring is attrition, because you actually get attrition points that allow you to help win the game by killing bots. And so that game mode isn't really my favorite. I tried it a couple times, and I just feel like a main strategy of the game is to set up on a bot zone and farm it. So that's a little disappointing. But luckily there is a game mode called Pilot Hunter, which is basically attrition, where you only get points for killing enemy pilots. And so the bots, actually all they do is provide fodder to allow you to build your Titan faster, and temptations for people to shoot, so you can figure out the location on the minimap and then kill them. So in my opinion, that's a much better game mode as far as being a competitive game mode there. So it reminds me almost of Gears Execution. And the last Titan Standing game mode is actually pretty fun. It's all about getting angles on the enemy team and overwhelming them at the point of attack, and having one guy distract the enemy, or having the majority of guys distract the enemy while you have one guy try to flank around and get a good shot on their flank, while at the same time not being owned by the enemies, because you're very vulnerable when you're by yourself. So last Titan Standing has a lot of good strategy, and like I said, it feels sort of like an in-depth strategy, like say Execution in Gears. Pretty cool game mode, definitely enjoyable. I would say that like the Hardpoint, great and really enjoyable, good game mode, and Pilot Hunter is also a great game mode. One of the most underwhelming things about Titanfall is the campaign. The campaign is just subpar in every respect. There's not new environments, and not new game modes, not even new mechanics. It's basically just missions with a voiceover, which sort of facilitate a generic plot line, or your general sci-fi kind of plot line. I felt like the only reason why you would play the campaign is to unlock the different chassis for your custom Titan builds. The Strider and the Ogre are unlocked for the campaign, and so once you finish that, there's really no reason to play it. That's a bit disappointing. Of course, we knew the campaign wasn't going to be a big point of emphasis going into the game, but still, I feel like they could have done a little bit more than that. And so, in some ways, while the game is really brilliant and enjoyable, and I have a great time with it, and I feel like the movement as they go on is going to get more and more complex and more rewarding. At the same time, I feel like it's almost like an unfinished game, and from the campaign perspective, this is just so non-existent. Like that, I feel like it's a first generation game, and hopefully the later iterations of it will be really good. So there's my opinion of it. If you are a Gears of War player looking for something to fill in the gap between Gears games, this might be a good game to play. And I really don't think you'll regret the purchase. But at the same time, if you are obviously if campaign and story is important to you, this game is not for you. The campaign is hardly supported at all. But be sure to check out my future highlights from Titanfall. I don't have my cap card set up on it yet, because I'm still capping on my Gears game on the 360. So most of my Titanfall footage will be highlights and such from the Xbox One recorder, and I will see you guys around. One other really important thing which I want to bring up is that there's a survey on surveyplanet.com which is being looked at and put forward by Black Tusk Studios, wanting your input on Gears 4. So for all of you Gears fans, it's a really good opportunity to go out there and actually affect and give input on how the game's going to turn out. So the link is in the description. Be sure to check that. Be sure to share it, and get as many Gearheads as we can signing up and filling out that form and producing the best Gears game we can make. And so if you are not willing to participate in things like this, the Black Tusk Studios forums that they're going to put out, or like this survey which they're asking for your input on, I really feel like you can really complain about the game not meeting up to your expectations when it comes out later. So definitely get in there, make your voice heard and suggest good things. And I really have faith in our community that the overall opinions on map types and weapon types and game balance put forward by the Gears community as a whole will produce a good game. So looking forward to it, guys, and I will see you guys later. Thanks for listening. Bye.